Okay, guys. So I guess we'll kind of just get to everything. So for those who don't know what we offer exactly, we offer Forex education, two bots that automate your trades, and that's called the print machine and the FX Also Pro. And the fourth thing that we offer is something called the trade manager. So I'm going to kind of go into details on how to use all of them the best way possible. I feel like some people might be using them wrong or just don't know the right settings or even know how to install everything. And so, we're going to kind of go over how to install the bots, what each thing is, and yeah, just pretty much everything. So before I do that, guys, um, I'll show some results of the print machine, and I'll kind of go over. We'll kind of discuss, why is it so profitable and so forth. So one second, let me bring it up. So we're gonna look at some different results. We'll look at the small account. I think there's a live small account over here. Yeah. So this is I'll talk about this account and I'll go into other ones. But as you can see, it was crazy though. Actually, this is the biggest drawdown I've seen the print machine get into in 3 weeks. So that's actually saying a lot, right? Typically, it doesn't even get this far down. But what I like about the print machine is because it's super accurate. It's way more accurate than FXO, so and it trades way more pairs. Um, and so I'm gonna get into all of the different settings that each of them do. So let's kind of dive into the settings. I'm gonna throw a chart on here real quick. I'll throw just gonna throw a pair on here real quick. Let's throw that one on there. So remove. Let's go over the settings for each of them for the print machine. So one thing I want to say also is make sure that I'm not. Did y'all get my message this morning about replacing the one from last night with the new one? We found like a small glitch. It's not anything big, but we want you to have the best version, obviously. So make sure you replace it. If you don't know how, I'll show you how in a few. Let's kind of get into settings. So let's see. Yes, you replaced it though. So if I throw the print machine on here, let's get into the settings that we have. So we're gonna get into each settings, not all of them, but at least the main ones. So obviously, guys, this is where you put your email at. So as long as you're active, your email activation is going to work. Um, lot size wise, the lot size determines how much money you're going to make per pip. So this is really important, guys, to know. Is for the print machine, um, I like to recommend 0.01 per 100. I don't even recommend $100 accounts, but if if you're going to do it, I really don't recommend it, but if you're going to do it, 0.01 for sure. Um, my personal opinion is $500 plus, but everyone's going to do what they do. But at least $500. You can like I showed you earlier, guys. As you can see right here. Um, Let me see, where is it at? This started off at 350. Now it's at 384 in one day. So it did what? For a $300 account, what is that? So It did 300 times. I think that's like, yeah, it did 30% today, which is not a lot if you count 300 bucks. But the count, not even do 30, it did like 20% or 15%. It started at 350 and then it made 35 bucks. So, and this was in bad drawdown that I've seen personally. So, you know, it's pretty good that the fact that it, I'm planning on doing 3.00 lot size of 30,000. 3.00. That's cool, but me personally, I would do 2.00 or 1.00. I actually think I have $100,000 account somewhere. I gotta go look at the $100,000 account. I don't think it's ever been a real crazy drawdown, even on a $100,000 account. But I gotta go check. But yeah, like you can the print machine goes crazy. I'm not gonna lie. So you can definitely do 3 standards on 30,000. But I would personally do like 10 or 15 or 20. 30. I mean, $30 a pip is cool. Definitely 30,000. It's definitely gonna make you money really fast. but but yeah, like I was saying, guys, you definitely want to do your lot size based off of your balance. And so what I recommend personally, any account $500 less. So I say any account between $100 and $300, 0.01. Any account, I think I started mine off honestly at 0.0. Let me check. Oh, that's oops. Okay, cool. So I started mine off at 0.04. So it actually was able to do off of 350. It was actually able to do 0.04. So I would say 0.01 per 100 at least. So if you have a $400 account, 0.04. Mine was 350, so I just did 0.04 anyway. But 0.01 per 100. So a $1,000 account, 0.10. Or if you want, you could do a point. And if you want to be conservative, do half of that. So like on a $1,000 account, 0.05 would be more conservative than a 0.10. Does that make sense to everybody? So if you had a $2,000 account, you either do 0.10 or 0.20. You had a $700 account, you do a 0.03 or 0.07. Let me know if that makes sense. All right. I'm gonna assume y'all sit that. Okay, a couple people that makes sense. All right, cool. Well, if people don't respond, don't be at me like, man, I didn't understand whatever. Like, well, you should ask. So the answer. So let's get into another part of the settings real quick. So throw it back on here. Take exit signal. I usually like to leave that off. What it does though is it tells it instead of using grid, like I think Paul wanted to figure out a way to minimize his risk. This is one way. Instead of using the stop loss, you can use the take exit strategy. So we're gonna look at some charts after this, Paul. And so this is what I tell people to do. Just like how the wave analyzer trades, it's going to do the same thing. So let's say who for I can understand, I just know who uses the wave analyzer. Like who's seen the wave analyzer on their chart? Who's seen the exit buy and the exit sell on all the different time frames? Okay, cool. So there are 3 ways you can. There's 3 ways you can leave a trade. You can either use grid, or you can use, or don't use grid at all, and you can use the exit signal. Now I haven't had enough testing to test it with it yet. So like I said, I got to test some accounts myself. Like I like to do like at least a month or 2 before I say, hey, do it. But obviously, guys, you guys are welcome to do it. So I'm just kind of explain you how it works. So if you leave exit on, you definitely can't have grid on if you have exit on. And so you set, I like to set mine to false. But if you leave it to true, you can pick what time frame you wanted to have an exit on. So let's say that it calls a sell and you want it to take you and let's say on the 15-minute chart, let's say on the hour chart, if it alerts you for an exit sale, it wants you wanted to exit that sale, even if instead of having a stop loss. So sometimes you might have 10 pip stop loss, sometimes you might have a 5 pip stop loss, sometimes you might have 100. It depends on what the exit sale is going to be. So I always tell people before you put exit sale, look at the trade, because I'm gonna go over how the trade, the way as the print machine trades. Look at how it trades in the 15-minute, and then look where it exits, just in case it was wrong on each time frame, to see what time frame you want to have an exit on. So let's say you're on the 15-minute and you say, you know what, I like how when it's wrong, the hour exit is on point. So then you can just put the hour exit on, and then you don't have to use grid, you don't use anything. You just lose when it exits. Or you can say, I like the way such and such lose. I like the way the 4-hour exits from the 15 minutes. So when the 15-minute enters, when it's wrong, I like where the 4-hour exits. Or you might like where the 15-minute exits on the 15-minute. I don't recommend that. But let me know, guys. Let me know. Does that make sense for those who's already seen the wave analyzer? I know people who haven't seen the wave analyzer, they don't know what I'm talking about. But for those who have, does that make sense? Let me see. Okay, dope. Now, we're going to assume you're saying this to false. We still got to test that. Anything I skip, we don't need. So max symbol open. Max symbol open means the amount of symbols you are going to allow the bot to open. So if you notice, I have about every single pair except for indices and gold and all that stuff. I got all these other pairs. I got all these other pairs. I got every single Forex pair. So right before the SP 500, so anything NZDCHF and higher are all Forex pairs. I put all the Forex pairs on, and you can decide. You can decide how many pairs you're going to allow it to open at a time. So if you set it to 1, it's only going to open 1 trade symbol at a time. Now, it's going to take multiple trades off the grid recovery. So let's say you have grid on, and let's say GBP NZD starts taking the trade. It's going to open multiple GBP NZD trades to help you recover, but it's not going to open up multiple trades. I mean, it's not going to open up an AUD USD or Euro USD. It's only going to have that 1 trade open. But if you have it set to 2, then it can have 2 trades max open. So even if it finds a good signal for another trade or a bad signal even, it's not going to take the trade because you have 2 pairs open. So you can see what you like. I like between 2 and 3. Anything over that is kind of scary, because what if, bad marketing this is happening. But the more you have open, the more money you can make also. Like I have a friend, he keeps 10 open, to each his own. But, I'm not going to be having 10 open at one time. So, but, like I said, the good thing about it is that it's so in and out. That's pretty dope. Now, I kind of skipped this by mistake. I forgot to talk about take profit. So your take profit goes off of points. So who's used the old bots before, like the old bots before these versions, the V5s? Let me know in the chat box, because I want to point out something very, very dope. Let me know who's used the old bots, like the FXOSA V2 or print. I don't think I have even released the print percent officially today, but who's used the old FXOSA Pro or so on? Okay, cool. Now I added this I got this on FXOSA V5 also, but which has actually made it a lot better also. So the issue we used to have, let me see. Okay, the issue we used to have was, I think we all can remember that when we used to put our take profit, we used to have to account for the grid. Y'all remember that? Meaning that, okay, for example, silver, we had to do 50 pips. So we'll do like a 500. So 500 pips, that's 50 pips. Because we just in case it gridded the wrong direction, we had to make sure that it can recover our grid. Y'all remember that? Now, the issue with that, guys, was, it was taking forever for the initially hit take profit. So it'll be in profit, then it'll be profit, then it'll be in profit until it hits take profit, right? Or grids. And that's just not good. And so what makes FX Social Pro V5 and Print Machine V5 dramatically better, like way better than the old versions, is now the take profit is separate from the grid. So I'm going to skip over real quick. Let's say that we have this at a 10 pip take profit. If we put our grid on, we can set our grid size like we've been doing, and we can set a custom take profit per grid. So grid 1 can have its own take profit, and then when grid 2 activates, it'll have its own take profit. Then when grid 3 activates, it'll have its own take profit, all the way to other. So that made it a big deal because now you can customize. Like let's say that you know, as 100 pip, I have a 10 pip take profit, and it keeps hitting my take profit over and over and over. But the moment it does not hit my take profit and it grids out, it's going to use its own grid take profit versus, so we don't have to use the initial take profit to account for the grid take profit. Who thinks that's a a way better way to do it versus, you know, having a huge take profit initially for every trade? Instead, you can scalp the market and you can swing the market at the same time when you start losing the trade. So you can have like a hybrid type of thing. Awesome. So yeah, and it's much easier to understand also, right? Because you know a lot of people they're trying to figure out like, okay, I don't understand like how you calculate. Now you can easily calculate it. It's very much simpler. So every time a gray hits, which we'll go over in a minute, it has its own take profit, but this initial take profit is its own. So I personally, like I said, I personally like to scalp the market at the beginning. Okay, so LG said, if my on recovery 3 and my grid is 100, do I need my take profit to be 300 pips? It depends on what you're trying to do. So let's say that I'm assuming that you mean all three of your grids were 100, right? So that's 10 pips each. So grid 1 was 10, grid 2 was 10, grid 3 was 10, right? So let's go look at it real quick. Let's assume that you have grid 1 at 10 pips. So in 10 pips, your grid activates. That's what I'm guessing you're saying. And then I'm guessing you got to think about it. It went 10 pips in the wrong direction. So you're probably, if you want, so there's two ways you can do this in this first grid. We're going to do it one at a time. So the first grid can do this. Let's say at 10 pips, it went the wrong direction. So if you set it to 10 pips, your first trade is going to break even. Trade 1, and this we'll call it initial trade. Let me change the color. The initial trade is break even, and I'll explain why. Trade 1 won 10 pips. I mean grid 1. We'll call it grid 1. Grid 1 won 10 pips. So what happened was it took the trade, it went 10 pips in the wrong direction. Grid 1 opened up a higher lot size, came back and hit 10 pips from that new entry. And so the initial entry went 10 pips in the wrong direction. So it broke even on grid 1 on grid. I mean, it broke even on initial trade, broke even on grid 1. But let's say that you have this set to another 10 pips the wrong direction. So then let's say that you want to, there's two ways you can do this. You can say, I want this one to open up at 10 pips, and this time grid initial trade lost 10 pips. Grid 1 broke even. Grid 2 won 10 pips. But if you set that grid 2 to go 20 pips instead, then grid 1 instead won 10 pips. initial trade broke even, and this also won, and this won 20 pips. So it won 20 pips. Grid one won 10 pips. This one won 10. I mean, broke even. So basically, you're recovering based off the you're based off how far it went. You want to you can decide how far you want that initial trade to go. So if do you want to go break even? Do you not mind losing the trade on the smaller lot? And so you got to ask yourself, you know, how aggressive do you want to be? Like me personally, I don't mind losing sometimes because I know I can get out that bad trade faster. So, like, let me see. LG said, well, he said, you know, if will he have what was it? Will he do 300 on pips on your third grid? So 300 pips on your third grid will do this. So grid three, we're like I said, we're assuming that it went 30 pips in the wrong direction. So if you had 300 pips, then this will break even because this went 10 pips the wrong direction from this trade. This went 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips, right? So that's it went 30 pips in the wrong direction. So this trade will break even. This trade will win 30 pips. This trade will win 20 pips. This trade will win 10 pips. This trade will break even. So if you grid out 1, 2, 3, but your third trade is, and let's say you do 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips, and your third grid is 300 pips, it's going to recover. Remember, we went 300, we went 30 pips the wrong direction, and then you had your grid 3 take profit 30 pips the back the same direction. So you would break even on the initial trade, but you would win 3 new trades in a row. Got you. Okay, cool. So, you know, depending on what you do, you know, that could be a cool strategy to make some money fast, and then you can scout. And then when it does go the wrong direction, you do that. But what you can get kind of scary is if it goes too crazy, because it can go through all your grids, unless you do it like this. Like that's what you say you did those first 3, then you maybe did grid 4. You had to do like, maybe you had to go 80 pips the wrong direction, or let's say 60 pips the wrong direction, and then your take profit can be where you want to win grid 2, grid 3, and grid break even on grid 2, lose grid 1 in this trade. So you just gotta be able to calculate it, man. I can get more into that in another webinar, but hopefully I didn't really confuse one. But basically, you can control how many pips you're going to recover every time. So you can really kind of game plan your losing, how you're going to lose with grid now. Did that make sense to everybody? I hope I ain't like losing on like, man, I don't know what's going on nowhere. Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about the next part. So what's cool, guys, on print machine is it can get in and out the market. It's not going to stay in the market all day. You can be in and out unless you choose not to. You can change. You don't want to use grid. You can put this to true if you want to use don't want to use grid, or put this to false. It's up to you. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the exit. I just have to practice using it and find the best strategy for it. So it can probably be very beneficial if you just want to back test and look at the wave analyzer. We can look at some stuff on wave analyzer to see how accurate exit buy and exit sell are for different time frames outside of 15 minutes. So if y'all want to do that, we can do it also. So we're gonna get to the chart soon, so don't worry, guys. Let's talk about the ADX filter. So the ADX filter is another filter that I added. Now you're gonna get less trades with the ADX filter. So we're gonna go over the ADX filter later, but basically it determines, so you know what it is, it determines how strong a trend is. So let's say that you can either keep this false, or you can turn true. And if you have a true, you can pick your current, you can pick a time frame. So let's say that you want to do current, and we're on a 15-minute, it's gonna look at the ADX in the 15-minute. So I'll explain how you can read the ADX on your charts on TradingView, so you can determine, you know what, I like how accurate it is, or I don't like how accurate it is. So like I said, we're gonna go to the charts and look at all of these indicators. I just want to show you what they mean. So the ADX limit filter. 20 is mean that it's a pretty good trend in that market. 25 means a super strong trend. The problem with doing 25 is it's going to be less trades, but it's going to be more accurate. Now you can look at it like this also. It's like, look, you got 20 different trades that's looking at all the time. So you're going to get enough trades still, even if you put this at 25. So, and so how often the trade is going to determine on if you have on 20 or 25 and what time frame. So the higher the time frame, the harder is for the bot to take a trade, because higher time frames are more accurate for your trend. So it can be good, but if you, I haven't tested the ADX enough on the bot, so you can leave the false for now. I'm gonna test it for a while, and I'm gonna let everyone know in the Telegram group, how is it going. Of course, you guys can demo and try it yourselves. It can't hurt for confirmations. OBV is another confirmation. I like to set this to true. I like to set this to 13. And I like to set this to 4 hour. MA timeframes. Basically, with the MA timeframes, I'll show you what that is also. But who knows the wave analyzer? Y'all understand the strategy on the wave analyzer. The candlestick has to be below the three lines for it to take a sell, and the candlestick has to be above the 3 candlesticks for a buy. Like, for example, if we're on the 15-minute chart. But with the 3 EMAs, what it does is it confirms if the candlestick is also below the 3 lines for a sell on whatever time frame you pick, or above. So what I've seen is the 4 hour with the 15-minute works great, because if it calls a signal on the 15-minute, you're less likely to be faked out. Because if it's the candlestick on the 4 hour and it's the candlestick on the 15-minute, they're all 3 above, that's a super strong trend going up. And so you're just catching all of those 15-minute bot. For example, let's say that right now on the 4 hour, it's above the 3 EMAs. It means you're going to keep catching all those buys that is calling above that 4 hour. That's why it's so accurate, because it's literally calling on a higher time frame of my strategy from the 15 minutes. So you're catching all the little buys in that 4 hour time frame over and over and over. So it's pretty dope. Personally, I like to turn the Asian session off. Oh, I'll talk about this too. A lot of people ask me what this is. Allow signal when you trade. So I haven't tested with the print machine, but basically what that is that it only, so let's say a GBP USD trade for a buy is called. And then maybe like 30, 45 minutes later, another GBP USD trade is called. But the GBP USD trade that we called earlier is already open still. So if you keep this at false, it's not going to take the second GBP USD trade because it already has one open. If you set this to true, it's going to take every good signal that it finds. So you get way more trades. But I also want you to think about this. Each trade has its own grid. So if 3 GBP USD trades are called and they all grid, they're going to all have their separate grid. So you can make a lot of money fast doing it. I suggest you test on demo, but you also want to stay wary of the grid. So if you're going to do that, make sure you keep it on true, that you have a wide grid, because you don't want this grid all the time because you have so many trades taken. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can make a lot of money. Like with that, what it say on true, you make a lot of money fast, guys. Like, it's ridiculous, but it's dangerous also. So, I just want to let you know what it was, but very dangerous. So let's set that to false. Asian session, I like to set that to false also, because I don't like consolidated markets. Print machine trades best on trendy markets. So I like to have it on false, and I like to set the New York session to 18. So basically, I have the bot turn off after I think 10 or 11, and the only time it's still trading is if it's doing recovery trades. But other than that, it's not looking for no new signals. So between London and New York is the only time. That means between 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. is the only time it's looking for good trades. After that, it's no longer looking for trades. So if you want to have it trade all day, you can keep this on the true. I like to keep it at false because I just want to look for trendy trades. It's kind of up to you. Some people like to turn off certain days. So some people like to turn off Monday, Sunday, and Friday, and only have the bot trade 3 days a week. Some people like to have Monday on also. Some people like to have all the days on. So it's up to you. Um, I would say watch the bot and see what days it for you it does bad, even if it's on demo, and what days it does good, and just kind of keep track of it. And then you can say, you know what, I like Tuesdays and Thursdays only. Really, that's when it just never loses. So I just keep Tuesdays and Thursdays, or I like every day, or I like just Thursdays. So it's kind of up to you. Like I said, grid. I haven't used martingale with this, so I can't tell you how good martingale would do. So I like grid. Either grid. Only two things I would use is grid, or if I don't use grid and I keep grid off, I would have the exit trade on it. I just have to test it first to see how I would like it. Yeah, martingale. That's when I first started making the bot in February. I can't remember who had it. I think LG had it. That's when we was in our beginning stages. Yeah, martingale was not a good long term back strategy because it's like at least with grid it can exit and go to different directions and still help you win. But martingale and at least you can control how aggressive your multiplier is. But martingale is just it just multiplies by itself based off signals. Now, but I'm gonna test the martingale one day too when I get a chance because it might go good with permacine. Now, grid, like we went over already, I like to do on regular pairs, 250. So let's do some calculations. I'm gonna do some calculations myself. So I'm gonna get my calculator out. So let's say that it go 10. We're going for 10 pips in the right direction. We're gonna do $1 a pip to make it simple, and then we go $1, then $1. We'll do $2 or whatever just to make it simple. So at 25 pips, open up a grid, and let's say it's $1 a pip, right? It's going to go 25 pips the wrong direction and open grid one. When grid one is open, it's going to go 300 pips in the right direction. So it went 25 pips the wrong direction. So it's going to go 25 pips, 30 pips in the right direction. So when it goes 30 pips, it's going to recover the 25 pips that we lost and 5 pips of that initial entry. So we're going to win 5 pips plus 30 pips. Plus 30 pips. And then if it does it again, say you go 250 pips in the wrong direction, and let's say you set it 300, you're 50 pips the wrong direction so far. So when you go 300 the right direction, you're going to collect 30 pips, and you're going to lose that initial trade for 50 pips, and you're going to I think you're going to lose that one barely. So what you could do if you want to avoid that is you can do 500 and just watch it. And if you do 500, for example, it's going to break even on your initial trade. But if you do 225 pips, I believe it's going to, once you go 25, you're going to break even on one, and you're going to lose on your first trade, and you're going to win on your third trade. But if you keep doing, if you do 300, my bad, 300 take profit. So I like to do 250 now because I haven't tested all of them. I'm going to start testing other ones because I just don't mind taking a small loss. So I'm going to give you an example, right? On one of these trades, we'll look at a couple of trades because I think who had print machine open where it was in deep drawdown. This is the first I've seen it go in drawdown, so it can't go in drawdown, guys. But this is the first I've seen it go drawdown, and I was like, man, I can't believe it went this much drawdown as soon as I launched it, everybody, after 3 weeks. But it's still dominated regardless, right? But let's look at it. So let's say that off of this, right? So we're gonna do off of my example. So you can always switch this up just in case because you don't want to lose. Because once it gets this far down, you might not want it to take you out of profit at 300. You might want to go like 600, 60 pips or 750 pips so you can collect more pips. So just remember, wherever your take profit is, it's going to recover the amount of pips you lost. So if you calculate this, let's just calculate it. 25 pips the first direction going the wrong way. That's 25 pips. Then I said kept going 25 pips the wrong direction again. It's another 25 pips. Then I said there's 25 pips again. It's another 25 pips. So that's 75 pips the wrong direction. And then let's say it goes 30 pips the right direction. That means you lost 45 pips and gained 30. So how is it possible that you're able to profit off of that? So the reason I do this, because I use this thing called the multiplier. So if I put it at 1.5, that means it's going to have a super high lot size to help recover. So even though it only went 30 pips, I had high enough lot size that it didn't matter. So for example, let's look at a trade. Because the Euro USD went crazy today. So let's look at the Euro USD. It started off at 0.04. It lost $16 in that trade. No, we're going to start right here. So it made $40. Then it also did $3. Then it lost $10. And it lost $16. So it won $17 in that trade. And it gridded out 1, 2, 3. So on the third grid, it finally won. You won $17. So there's two ways you can go around this. Either you can up the multiplier or up the amount of take profit you go for. So it's kind of up to you. Because you could do a strategy where you have a low take profit. So every time it grids out, let's say it grids out. Let me see. Tell me if this makes sense for y'all. I'm gonna test this out to myself because I just now kind of thought about it. But it could be a strategy. It kind of depends. So you can have it where when it grids out, for example, at 250, and it's going for, let's say it's going for 250 the first time. Oh, let's say it's going for 300. Let's say it's going for 300. 250. Oh, let's say this. It goes 25 pips in the wrong direction, but it's still going for 10 pips. 250 pips in the wrong direction, but it's still going for 10 pips. 250 pips in the wrong direction, but it's still going for 10 pips. 250 pips in the wrong direction, but it's still going for 10 pips. 250 pips in the wrong direction, but it's still going for 10 pips. Now, this could seem like, wow, bro, you're going to lose money. But what if you did a 2.0 or 2.5 on the multiplier? That means that the lot size is going to be so high that the 10 pips that it retraces to, even though it gets you out the market faster, you can still potentially profit. So that's another route of looking at it. Let me know in the chat box if that makes sense. So there's two ways you can do it. You can either increase your take profit, which would be harder for it to hit the profit, or you can increase your lot size on the multiplier. But the risk behind that is that if it keeps going, it never hits 10 pips. But another way you can look at it is what's the chance of it going 75 pips the wrong direction and never hitting 10 pips and take profit? So that could be something we can try. I'll test that out and let you know, guys, and let you know personally. But that could be actually an interesting way to do it. You know, just instead of being in the market too long, just go for 10 pips every time on your initial trade and your grid. But on the grid, you just multiply lots by a lot. It could be risky. That's what I'm saying. You got to try it. I'm going to test it out. Sounds interesting. So let's go on to the next part. Then we're going to get to the charts. So, so this is something that might be also interesting for you. So your max recovery, when you have grid on, let's say that, for example, like Paul said, it sounds risky, right? Because what if it gets to a standard? Or what if it gets to, and you don't want to go to a standard? What if you could control the highest lot size is going to do? So let's say you have a super large grid. Let's say you have that at 0.05, you're starting off, but it's going to get to, it can go from 0.05. If you have it on 2.0, it can go from 0.05 to 0.10, 0.10 to 0.20. I mean, 2.20, then 0.40 on your fourth grid. And what if you have, well, you know what? I can live with at least the most a 0.50. At that point, never take a higher lot size than a 0.50. So you can control the max lot size you want to do. So you can think of it like if you can, like I said, we got to still test it, but it could be a strategy where you use the point, you max the lot size out to where you pick a lot size that you don't want to go past. So that bait, just in case it goes to a third or fourth grid and it never hits that 10 pips, it's only going to stay at that lot size. So if it takes another recovery trade, it's going to take the same lot size. It's not so if it's at 0.5 max, that means at 0.5, it's going to keep taking 0.5 instead of going from 0.5 to point or 1.0 and 1 and 2.0 and so on. Does that make sense, y'all? So like I said, guys, there's a lot of different scenarios you can do with this. That's why I make everything optional, and it can be really interesting. Like I said, I haven't even tapped into the best of the best yet. Like I said, it's something, but I just that's why I direct people what works for me so far. Now, someone asked me, I think it was Paul, asked me, what is pyramiding? So that's another thing you can think about too. So this is another way. Definitely, if you're going to do a high multiplier, what pyramiding is how many trades are you going to allow open at one time, no matter what. So if you have pyramiding at 5, it's not going to take any more trades past 5. And if it has to recover, it's going to close one of those trades early to recover. So you don't have to have multiple trades open. But the most trades you're going to have is only 5 trades if you keep it at 5. That's why I keep it a high lot size so you can have more room for recoveries. But if you want to have it where you only want a certain amount, then you can put it at 5 or you can put it at 10 trades or whatever. So imagine you have it at 10 trades max, and then you have it at a certain lot size, like a 0.30 or 0.40 or 0.05, whatever. Now it helps you protect your account because it's not going to go past that lot size and it's not going to open past a certain amount of trades. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of different ways you can protect how many trades it takes and what lot size it takes. You just got to mess around with it and practice. But it definitely has a lot of potential for a lot of situations. Now, daily take profit, I just keep it high because it's kind of self-explanatory what that is. So yeah, I think it's pretty much all the settings. I'm going to go over some of the settings that we talked about in the trading view so you can actually see. But one other thing, if you like to use trail, I don't personally use it, but if you want to use trail, you set it to true. You can set when it triggers. I don't like using trail, but it tells you when to trigger. You can do a trail and stop and trail and take profit. But I don't like using trail on the bot personally. So there's that. Does anyone have any questions about the settings before we move on to anything else? And I'll show you a couple of more examples. So this guy right here, this is a live account, by the way, also. Off the print machine today, he's made $309 off of a $5,000 account. So in one day, he made 300. I think Paul probably wants to see something. I know he's going to try to do a big account. So off of 0.40, this is what happened, and this was in a situation, Paul, where 2 trades went 3 grids down, which barely ever happens, and it still was able to do $309. So if it didn't go 3 trades down, it probably would did like $400 or $500 for the day. Let's look at another one. This one did 177 for the day. I think this is it. I don't know what account this is. I think it's my friend's account. I think he be testing a lot of different stuff on here. So let me just look what he got. I have no idea what's about to be on here. Let's see. I think this is where he tests stuff. So I think he's testing he don't kick me out. He must have been on there. Oh well. I didn't even get to see what he was doing. But let's kind of get into the charts. I'm about to get into the charts. Okay, let's share screen. Oh, this is not the chart I want to share. New share. I'm just gonna share my time screen. Where's my charts at? Let me see where I put my charts at. Oh, it's up here. Okay, here it goes. All right, cool. So it's kind of dive into how everything looks. So for those who don't know the wave analyzer and everything else. So Euro, USD. So this is how the bot trades based off of what the scenarios that we did. So what it's gonna do is look at the Euro USD trade. A Euro USD trade real quick. And this is what happened too. On that trade where I did bad, it called the trade right here. So let's look at some scenarios, right? This is where it called the trade. So let's look at two scenarios, and this is what extra confirmations could help. So let's look at the trade that, remember, we didn't lose the trade, but it went in a lot of drawdown. So it went into grid 1, 2, and 3, right? And so it called the trade here. So this is how the bot works. First, it looks for to see if the wave on the wave lines when it calls a buy or a sell. It makes it see this if there's a second candlestick above all three lines. Yes or no. And it's going to say, if it says yes, 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 it's going to next look at the 4 hour. That's what we put the 3 EMAs on. And it's going to say, is this candlestick above all 3 EMAs? Yes, yes, yes. And then it's going to take the trade if the OBV, I don't have the OBV on here. And then it's going to look at the OBV. And if the OBV confirms, it's going to take the trade. Now, let's say that we had the ADX on also when they called this buy. That means that the green, when it calls a buy, the green line and the black line have to be above the 20,000 or the 25,000. So let me make this thicker so y'all can see it also. So how it works is this. If we had the ADX on, it wouldn't have took this trade. Why? Because the green line and the black line have to signify the strength of a trend. So I would have avoided this deep drawdown because the black line was not above the 20,000 or the 25,000. And that's why I said I let people choose. So when they called this trade, it was above, let's say the black line was above the 20,000. Then if you set the 25, it means it would have to be above the 25,000 and the black and the green line have to be above 25,000. So that's why I said you can get far less trades when you have that 25,000, but it's gonna be far more accurate. So let's look at the sell. Let's say we would have took this trade. So is the red above? Yes. Is the black below above? No. So it wouldn't have took this trade. But I want to show y'all something real quick. So let me remove all drawings real quick. Let's say that this is based off current time frame. Let's say when they call this trade, you set the ADX to 4 hours also. It still wouldn't have took this trade. But let's say you set it to 1 hour. It would have took this trade because on the ADX, the black line and green line are above the 20,000. So it would have took this trade regardless if you had it on the 1 hour confirmation. It wouldn't have took this trade if you had it on the 4 hour confirmation or on your 15-minute. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box if that makes sense. Okay, so someone came in late with the print machine. Sorry, I've now come in late. I'm making it. I've been using V2. I'm downloading V5 and print machine tonight. Will the settings be the same on V5 as they were on V2? With print machine, is it okay to put it on the same account that I've been trading silver? The print machine needs to be on its own account, Patrick. And print machine, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably a much better trader, and you can just use the recommended settings that we say on the print machine. It doesn't use silver and gold; it does regular pairs, so that's all the regular pairs. And I will do it on its own account. But I went and for your V2 to V5 for the FX Social Pro, the two things that's changed is that it has the take profit and the grid are separate take profits now. So when you have it on silver and gold, it's going to be in and out of those trades fast now, much faster now, and it's only going to hit grid. It's only going to hit grid sometimes versus all the time. So that's going to be a big thing for a lot of people. So let's say you have silver and gold set to 10 people take profit. It's going to hit 10 people take profit every time. And then when it hits grid 1, then you can have it go 25 pips the right direction. So FX Social V5, Pro V5 is also a much better now. So because it now gets in and out of silver and gold much faster. And it has the ADX indicator that you can use also to confirm trades. So it has a higher confirmation. So V5 is also much better for that. So V5 is better on both bots, actually. Now, let's look at that. Let's look at this sell trade that they call it, right? Actually, it wouldn't have called the sell trade because the 3 lines are above anyway, so this is irrelevant. Let's look at this buy. This new buy call. So let's say that we would have missed out on this bad trade because it did not confirm on the ADX on. Let's say, what if we called this trade? This was actually, let me see, did this trade go anywhere? Let's check. Did it go 10 pips? Let's check. It did it here. It was opened right here and went up 10 pips. So yes, this trade would hit 10 pips. Let's see how fast 10 pips is. So question, would I have taken this trade? Let's see. So is it 3 lines above? Is this above the candlestick above the 3 lines? Yes. On the 4 hour, is this candlestick above the 3 lines? Yes. On the 15-minute, if we have it on the 15-minute confirmation, is the green and the black line above the 20,000? Yes. So you have it on, if you had it on current for your ADX confirmation for current time frame for 15-minute current, it would have took this trade for 10 pips and it'll help you avoid that loser trade. But if you have it on 4 hours, for example, it would have maybe took the trade. The 20,000 is real iffy. No, it wouldn't have took the trade because the black line is below. So as you can see, you would have missed out on a good trade on the 4 hour, but you would have won those 10 pips because it confirmed. So you gotta ask yourself this: do you want to sacrifice more trades to potentially avoid trades that do this, then go up, or you could just have waited for it to happen right here? So it's kind of up to you on that part, but yeah, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. Now, does everyone understand? I just want to know, does everyone understand what I mean by the confirmations? Now you can help yourself understand why the bot's taking certain trades based off these confirmations and what time frame you choose as a confirmation. So now it's easy to backtest. Like, look, the AUD just got called, right? Let's look at it. Let's see if the bot will have taken that trade. I don't think it would take. It's not going to take the trade. Why? Mainly because we have it turned off into London session. But it wouldn't have took this trade anyway. Because why? Because the sell has to be called right here under the 3 lines. It can't be. This candlestick has to be right here. It can't be right here in between the lines. I think a Euro USD trade was called. So let's look at this Euro USD trade that was called, right? I mean AUD trade. So let's check off mark one. Is this candlestick above all three lines? Check mark. On 4 hours, is it above all three candles? Heck no. So that's why the 4 hour confirmation is super important. Because imagine this. You think it's about to be a buy, but on the 4 hour, it's about to do this. And so you're going to be either, hopefully you hit the 10 pips fast enough. Let me see, did it hit 10 pips? I think it did. Let's see, it started here. Oh, it's almost at 10 pips. So that's 10 pips right there. So it's probably gonna hit 10 pips anyway. But, oh yeah, it would have hit take profit. But I still wouldn't have took that trade because, I mean, I guess, I wouldn't have took that trade basically because it's way too close to this point. So I wouldn't have took it. But you would have won that trade. So the print machine is super scary accurate. Like it's scary accurate, guys, as far as the accuracy of it. And the good thing, this is what I like about the print machine. You can know why it's doing what it's doing by just referencing the wave analyzer and following the rules. And so if you go through the training, you can learn. If you go through my academy, you can learn all about the different stuff, but it ain't hard. Who thinks what I just told you on the confirmations is hard to understand? And because you can choose, for example, we're on 15-minute chart. Let's look at the USD. Let's look at this right here. Let's say we would have taken this trade. Let's confirm. Depending on your confirmations, it would have looked at this first, then it would look at the 4 hour. Yep, it's below all three. Below all three, it will use the OBV, and it will, if you have ADX off, it will have took this trade. And let's see, is that 10 pips? Yeah, barely, but yeah, it's 10 pips. It was barely been there. But if you had ADX on, we'll have to take that trade. Let's look. Nope, because it's barely below 20,000. So you would have avoided this trade. So I would say this about the ADX, it will help you avoid stuff like this. Because this was what's hard. But look, here's the thing. This was most likely going to happen anyway, guys. It's going to go like this. It's going to go up here. It's going to drop. So sometimes it's okay not to have the ADX on. Because look, it's a total downtrend. And so the ADX is just more, excuse my language, more anal about what trades it takes. So you're going to have far less trades. But without the ADX, you're going to get more trades. And personally, sometimes I like when the grid happens and it opens up like maybe one trade here and a second trade here and then drops. It helps me win both of these trades and I make more money. But with ADX, you're going to lose. You're going to have a lot less of those fake outs. It's just going to go straight like this. So let's look at that. Watch this. Like, look, let's look at one. Let's look at this sale right here. Let's remove drawings. So look, you're going to have strong. This is how you know the ADX is strong. I don't know what this trade is going to do, but I guarantee it's probably going to be nice for the ADX, right? So it called the trade right here. So we took the trade right here. On the 4 hour, would it have taken that trade? Let's look. Let me find it. I don't know why I did that thing. Let me go check it real quick. So the 4 hour, let me point arrow at this so I can find it. Oh, there it goes, right there. See, that's why I had to point that arrow because I did not see that. So it confirms also on the 4 hour. So let's look at that current time frame. Does it confirm on the ADX? What did I do with that trade? There we go. So did it confirm on the ADX? Is look. Not really. Nope. Barely. So look, so you would have missed on the good trade, even this, because that black line. So you can miss out on a lot of trades also, unless you lower, like let's say you wanted to go instead of 20,000. Let's say, you know what, I'd rather have it around 15,000. So I made it where you can choose your number. So you might want 10,000 and so on. But so far, does that make sense? The OBV indicator is just another volume indicator. It's not. I don't think they even have the indicator in here. Let me check. I think I have it, but I don't think regular TradingView has it. So basically, when it crosses down, that's an indication that it's going to be a good sell. When it crosses up, that's a good indication it's going to be a buy. So look, let's say that this called a buy right here. It crossed up right here. There you go. I called that sell right here. That's under that. So if the blue line is under the red line, it's a good sell. If the blue line is above it, it's a good buy. So it's a good confirmation tool. And you can choose, like, we usually use 13. So I changed to 13. And so look, this will give you perfect opportunities for sales and buys. So that's why I use 13. I don't think they have this indicator because we had created this. I don't think they have this indicator on TradingView. But I can just give it to y'all. If y'all want it, I can make it where people can add it to their TradingView. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I forgot. You don't have to. So who's ever been like I Am Academy? No, I know it's a random question, but who's ever been like IML? Let me know in the chat box. Don't be shy. Well, for those who haven't or those who have, I'm going to have something where instead of you having to get on TradingView, you're going to be able to log in to our back office, and it's going to automatically have the ADX, DI, OBV, and everything already set for you. All you do is log in with your email and password, and it's going to already be there. So instead of having to go all the way to TradingView, you just log in to our site and you can see everything. So no more having to, when people get started, they don't have to install anything or anything. It's just already there as long as they have their email active. So that's how we're going to do it eventually. And we're going to alert people's phones for indices, Forex pairs, and different time frames for those who are interested straight to their phone. So for the wave analyzer, our next big push is sending you out Telegram alerts when to go look at and log in. And it's going to tell you whenever you can join any Telegram group. So you can join the one that's for a certain one, like Forex pairs only or indice pairs only, and so forth. So it's going to be pretty dope. So we're going to have all of that on here for you. So what I recommend you guys start doing is going through our education, learn how to trade. Now that you understand how the confirmations work, it's pretty simple. ADX is a great tool, but the problem with ADX is you can miss out on potential trades when it confirms. But now, so like right here, this would have been a good one. This would have confirmed. So on this one, it would have took this trade and you would have won. But as you see, when the ADX is on, it doesn't really take any bad trades. It just takes trades that it believes in. Like, it's very rare that it's going to take a trade, though. But the good thing is you're running like a billion pairs. And you can always look at this and see which pairs work good with ADX and which pairs don't. So let's look at this buy. The ADX called this buy very well. Let's look at if it confirmed on the 4 hour. So yeah, you would have took this trade. Now this is what this is my personal opinion on the ADX. If you decide to use ADX, I will go for more pips, because since it's so accurate, instead of going for 10 pips, go for 30. Hey, you can go for 70, 80. But nah, at least go for 30. So like my opinion is if you use the ADX, go for 30 pips. If you use the, go for 30 pips. If you're not using ADX, go for 10. Because even though you're going to far less trades, at least you're going to get more pips out of the situation. Because you're barely going to ever lose with the ADX. The problem is you're barely going to get trades also. But if you're running like 30 different pairs, then it should be fine. So that kind of helps. Hopefully this kind of helps y'all better understand the wave analyzer and how the print machine works. On the trade manager, I recommend, if you're using the trade manager, for those who don't know what the trade manager is, I recommend if you use the trade manager, you put it, let me see what the trade manager is first. It's, imagine, for example, we're looking at this trade. And we're taking this trade manually on our account. And let's say it starts going to drawdown. You know, with the bot starts taking grids. Like at the amount we set, right? With the trade manager, it can do that also, and it can control if it's do a buy or a sell. But you want to make sure you put on the proper chart. So just like you put it on the 15-minute chart, every trade you put the trade manager on, you also put it on the 15-minute chart. And you also put it on a 4-hour confirmation. And you only have it. I'll just show you. It'd be better to show you than tell you. Let me show you the settings real quick. Let me bring up one of mine real quick. I had to switch over to my other one. Let me share. So this is the trade manager, right? And so as you see, I put it on all of the 15-minute pairs, but let me see. I'm just going to drag this over and throw this in here. Remove. So I said through the print machine in there, trade manager. I mean, not the trade manager, right? I would put it on, I would have interrupt trades true, interrupt only losing trades true, interrupt with trend true, time frame confirmation 4 hours, and then you can choose your grid and multiplier. You already know how the grid works. And if you want, you can have ADX in there also, but you already know the ADX. With the ADX on, it's gonna be a lot harder for it to switch between buy and sell. So you might want to keep it at false for now until we test it. So, you know, it has its own take props and so on. Or this is another way you can use the trade manager. You can have it can have grid completely off. You can have, you can have take exit sales too, but you can keep that at false. If you want to take exit sales for you, you can do that also, but let's keep that at false. Let's say you don't want to use it for nothing, but as a trailing tool, you can keep grid off, do your own stop losses and take profits, and then you can have it where you can turn on enable trail, and you can say, look, when I take, let's say you took a trade for and it hits 10 pips, I want you to move my stop loss automatically to 5 pips, and I want you to move my take profit 10 pips up every time. I mean, 10. I want you to move my take profit 10 pips above, and I want you to move my trailing 1 pip. So every time it goes from 10 to 11, I mean, every time, let's say that it activates at 10 pips, right? So that means my stop loss is going to go from 5 to 6 pips, and my take profit is going to go from wherever it is to 11 pips and 12 pips and 13 pips. So it's never going to hit take profit. It's never going to stop loss. So if you have a running trade, you can use this tool to keep catching trades fast. So you can use this instead of using it as a grid. You can use it as an automatic trailing tool and just turn grid off. So that's another way you can use the tool. So it's kind of up to you. You can use it as a grid tool or as a trailing tool. I don't like having both on, so I would choose if I was you. But that's the two ways you can use it. So let me stop sharing. I think we've talked about enough. Any questions before I let you guys go? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Cool. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna start doing these calls every Wednesday. So anytime you got like you're confused or you want to know something or just get updated from what I got going on, I'm gonna do these calls every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. This was an extra long one, but I just wanted to go through a lot of stuff today. But I'm gonna have it like I'm probably gonna do polls in the Telegram group, and then that's gonna be the subject for that Wednesday call. So we can just talk about what matters. So you're welcome, Paul. So okay, I guess I'll let you guys go if y'all don't have any questions. And I recorded this, so I'll send this out to everybody. So you can look at the recording if you want to watch it. And y'all have a blessed night.